Hi, this week I interviewed Scott Garco, founder and CEO of the Fisheez Association in the US. Scott told me the purpose of his startup is to make a difference. How? Let's find out. Do you want to explain a little bit how you make a difference?
It's a blockchain-based system of e-commerce. So if you imagine Craigslist, eBay, Angie's List, Fiverr, all mashed into one, taking the best parts of them all, and then getting rid of the ones that aren't good. I'm trying not to cuss, but literally get rid of the ones, the gatekeeping and all the stuff that they do to us, and then add in things that they've never offered yet, like being able to like Craigslist and Angie's List and Facebook Marketplace. Those are great for marketing, but there's no way to have an escrow account between you and the other person that sits there until the deal is done, so that you know that you got the item correctly, or there might be a lemon law or something, 3-day law, whatever. So there's never been a way to do that except for a lawyer or a bank. So I just basically figured out, how can I create this system of templates to create so people can make their own item listing, and it's literally on the blockchain on a smart contract. So they list it, they don't know they're using blockchain. It just looks like, normal set up your item. And they go in, they set it up. It just happens to be deployed to the blockchain instead of sitting there waiting for somebody to use PayPal to buy it, because that's what everybody else does. So instead of PayPal or Amazon, whatever, or eBay, I think they use PayPal all the time too, but there's options. They just send money directly from their wallet outside of our system. We don't touch the money. It goes right into that smart contract. And then inside that contract, they can pause it, they can reverse it using our system of dispute resolution,
Much lower fees.
which involves the fees are half as much as what I did was I tried to figure out, how can we sustain this association and keep building and keep the fees as low as possible and survive, but plus give back to the community. And so our max fee is 8% on anything, but that's a $10 t-shirt. When you go to $25, it's 7.5%. And then it goes down and down and down to where you can sell a $10 million house and you're at like 0.5%. And at first, what we're starting out, we're selling discounts, future discounts. So, hey, you buy this NFT, you hold it in your wallet, everything you set up to sell, you're going to get this discount. And the best one is 100% off. So you buy this up front, you never pay a fee ever again. You can sell a house, a car, t-shirts, you could build your business on there, and you're allowed to show everything about yourself. All your links can be there, Facebook and Twitter and all the other things, to prove who you are if you want. You don't have to, but it allows you to have your own store and then offer an escrow. So you can do a deal with somebody. You could build a deck for someone, and you can have a 3-phased price. Hey, it's $300. I'll show up, and then 5,000, and then it's going to be 3,000, so that the first one's going to execute in a week, and if he doesn't show up by then, I get my money back, and then on and on and on. So there's a whole. I grew up in construction, so I understand that part of it, and then I've been in the internet since '97. Really, I started tinkering, and then made a lot of money in '99, quit my job, and went out to Internet World 2000 and actually explored that, and then lost everything because the markets crashed. So I've been through a lot, and I owned a manufacturing business for the last 12 years, and I sold on Amazon, and I got burned on there one day. We lost 40% overnight of our sales because we were the number one brand in the country for what our keyword was. And one day it was just gone. It was us, Nike, Under Armour, Scunchy Goody, and we were right there at the top for 8 years. And then all of a sudden one day it was wiped out, and it was just an alphabetical order block of a bunch of companies, and the brand section was gone, and we didn't realize it for about a month, but our sales just dropped 40%. And the only way to get back in was to pay into their advertising system, which is a sore spot because I had been part of a patent that we sued for the original pay-per-click advertising. We sued the two of the biggest companies in the world, and we lost in Canada and the United States. But, so us paying into the keyword system was kind of a dig in our gut too. So when my partner and I finally split, because, our revenue was down and COVID and all these things, I decided to do what I'm doing now. I'm like, okay, how can I fix this issue with them taking our data, them gatekeeping us and sucking us dry for money? Because Amazon took 45% of every penny we made. So it's like every $1,000, they're taking $450. Wow. People don't realize that. And they don't, and it's great to have 2 day shipping, but guess what? Every seller on there has to raise their prices because every time that happens, they're in this system and it's like boom, boom, it costs them a lot more. So a $5 item becomes $10. You don't realize that the inflation isn't just inflation, it's also the way the system's set up, but you're getting things faster, so we're happy. You know what I mean? So I have a vision, a big vision of in the future, people actually creating communities on Fisheez. And we'll have drivers that will go pick up things and drop them off, and have people that have empty warehouses today that are all going out of business. Well, the retail businesses are going out and they're becoming warehouses for Amazon. I mean, my business partner just bought a 10,000 or 100,000 square foot building. It was a Kmart, and now it's just Amazon warehouse. It's like for people selling, but they also need to sell on Shopify and all these other sites because you have to keep up with it, because you can't. You may have 90% of your sales on Amazon, but your profits aren't great because you're getting sucked dry, and then you can't even post the same item on another site cheaper, like eBay, because they will block you, and then you can't sell on Amazon anymore. So that's a lawsuit.
Is the platform fully developed already and launched?
I'm close. We're close. Literally, we are at the end where we have to finish the KYC part, because we have to KYC for the e-commerce. We have to know your customer, which we're implementing now. And I'm raising money actually right now, so I'm trying to get to the marketing money is really the biggest part, because you have to get the word out. So we're at the tail end. I've been building since August is when I really started the actual development corporation or the development company in America. And I hired my first guy, paid my lawyers in Switzerland, which I have the best lawyers in the world. They started Ethereum and Cardano foundations. So this law firm in Switzerland is called MME Legal. They're amazing. And I love my lawyer. He's just one of the best people in the world. And I can't believe I found them. Literally, I got kicked out of America because I didn't kick out. I had to leave what I was doing here because of Gary Gensler and the SEC messing around. And it pushed me into the hands of the best lawyers in the world. It was so interesting how it worked, because now I have like these guys that get it. The EU today, actually, it was the very first day in the world that now there's a stable coin that's legal in Europe. So the USDC just got the authorization. So it's perfect because it's what people can use on our site. So every step of the way, it's been amazing. Like and so I'm starting in Switzerland and in Europe, and then I'll come back into America. And people are calling me from Brazil and from Nigeria now and telling me their stories and how they have to deal with this stuff. Like they post things on Facebook Marketplace, and then they go and they use things like Upwork. They won't post on Upwork because they charge too much, but they use their escrow on there to do it. But what they don't realize, there's a per charge every time too. And there's all these things that everyone's trying to manage to not have to pay all the fees and to figure out how they can get their name out. But everyone gatekeeps you and gives you high fees.
So
like,
if let's make this work as a business owner, need services, let's say I need an artwork for a Facebook ad, I could utilize your platform to ensure that if I pay in advance, really receive the finished product, the service.
What you get. Yes. And if you have a problem in that time span, so when you set up the contract, it would be an execute at this date, like 30 days from now to make sure that you get it by then, whatever. So during that time period, if you get it, great. If you don't get it and it's getting close, you can go in and say, hey, I'm going to dispute this because this guy's not showing up, or he hasn't called me for 3 weeks, or whatever's going on. Maybe it's something happened in his family. Who knows? You never know. You have to be, at least mentally not mean to people. You have to think, maybe something happened. So you can go in, you dispute it, and then 2 people will be pulled in randomly using Chainlink's generator. It'll pull in 2 people that have been tested in our system to handle a dispute. And those 2 people anonymously come in, and there's a chat between all 4 people, buyer, seller, the 2 dispute arbiters, and all the documents that are pertain to it. And they have a discussion basically, like, here's my problem, and those 2 people go off anonymously. They vote. If they don't agree, a third person comes in, checks through everything, tries to figure it out, and that person is the final decision.
Are you alone in your team? You mentioned you hired someone and you got a lawyer.
I've got Lucas in it for 2 years now. We met actually in a Polygon chat room. We started talking, and he stuck with me for like 6 months. We were back and forth talking about what I wanted to do, and he was like, this is really amazing, and kept up, and he was still working on other projects. And he and I actually in August is when I started to raise a little bit of money, and I put my own money in the whole time before that. The whole I've been working on for a while, but and then he actually brought in another guy, Matthew, that he worked with in Canada. So they're both Japanese. They're amazing people. They're so nice and they're just pleasant to work with.
So, Scott, after 1 year of running Fisheez, what would you say were the biggest obstacles, roadblocks for you in the first year of operation?
I took this on, and my wife believes in me, thank God. I was like, look, I have this idea, and I think I can do it, and I've got ideas, but I didn't know how yet. I had to do a lot to learn. But it's always money because my partner and I broke up with our business, and I went off January 2023. I keep forgetting what year it is. So 18 months ago, I haven't had a single paycheck since. And I've been doing everything I can. I'm raising money. I have amazing investors and they believe in me and they're coming through. But at the same time, I see what's coming. And to ramp up, I haven't built a huge global company before. I've built some really awesome things and raised money before. But this is a different level. And it's like the complexity has been very challenging to learn, but it's interesting how I've absorbed it because it was really scary at first, honestly. Like the scary part is when you're looking at it in front of you, knowing what it could entail, all of it. I had to think about taxes and e-com and crypto and all the pieces. And it was overwhelming. And then I just had to one day make that decision. And then I just went full force, working double time and learning it. And since then, I really enjoy the marketing part. I love doing that, and I'm not good at the storytelling as best as like really coming up with the brand that I came up with and the flow of the pictures. And I love AI, and I'm a huge tech guy. I always have been. I'm just into software. I love learning software, so it's been interesting, but that's what I like to do, and I like to help people. So I have these great conversations, but it always comes to where, oh, now I need money again, and I got to keep coming back to raising money and thinking about that is always a pain because I hate asking for things. I like to give.
Scott, if you would give one advice to new startup founders, like the most important consideration for a young startup entrepreneur, what would that be?
Get a mentor probably is one of the first things. Find people that have been there. Talk to everybody you can because there's going to be 1,000 things that you're going to learn on the way. The more information you can get from people that can be helpful to you during that depends. Some people don't have, like my stepdad owned a business my whole life, and my mom's an amazing, honest, awesome person who runs his book still and stuff. So I had people that were entrepreneurs in my life at an early age. So I saw that. And I've always been working with them and doing other things and my own things. So if you don't have that, you need to find somebody like you. I feel like in the future, I want to give up a few hours of my life every week and offer it to people and say, look, who needs an hour? Let me just do it just to help because people do that for me now.
Thank you so much, Scott.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Appreciate
Bye.
you, man. Thanks. See you.